What's up, y'all? Smokey here. Today I'm here to show you guys a Scrift tier list that is going to be updated because these devs like rolling out updates a lot and like rebalancing their Scrifts, etc., etc. And in the time where, you know, a bunch of Scrifts have been released and reworked, like Superstar and Wind, people have found ways to counter them, and I feel like their tiers have actually, you know, kind of like shifted and changed around. In this tier list, I'm going to consider the Volts and Scrift too, just because they both kind of go hand in hand. And just, you know, so we get an overall tier list. All right, so what I like to, you know, mentally think when I'm categorizing these is the Scrift have a good, you know, guard break or some way to close a gap, have good range, you know, something like that, or does it have a certain passive that makes it, you know, kind of busted, kind of like you know, DD, or passive like the Fear, where it slows, you know, that kind of stuff. First of all, I'm gonna do one of my favorite Stern's Visionary in this tier. This Scrift needs a rework. This has been garbage since the re-released patch, where they gutted Firing Squadron, they gutted Meteor Shower, made everything blockable. A little toddler could hold F against everything on the Scrift. It is so cooked, and it doesn't scale on Kendo anymore, so it has no function there as well. True Stun got reduced. That's also a big part. You want a good Scrift that has a lot of True Stun. Otherwise, basically useless, which will come into play in another Scrift. But yeah, Visionary is complete garbage. In Awakening, the Imagination Meter is a downgrade. It, like, to build it up, you basically have to waste your Z move because they were lazy and decided not to add, you know, another function to thinking. The little water prison is complete garbage. It pretty much never hits anyone unless they're literally standing still. It's so easy to counter. And Spatial Teleport is really just a free punish. For some reason, they can just turn around, block, and then they can just do an instant fast fang into your face, and you can't do anything about it. So this Scrift is garbage. It is the, dare I say, the worst legendary in the game, the worst partial in the game. It's worse than commons. And I know people are going to be like, oh, Smokey, just because it's a legendary doesn't mean it's supposed to be better than rares or commons. I get that, but there comes a certain point where it's like, if it's a 3%, I'd rather roll any other Scrift from the legendary pool than this one. I would rather have Heat or Wind. Jesus. All right, but yeah, that's my rant out the way. Next Scrift I'm gonna cover is the Miracle, because this has a very big flaw. So it has a debuff with low ruler and Scrift, where it blinds and stuns, you know, and not true stuns, but it blinds you, right? Which pretty much leaves you susceptible for combos, except it doesn't. First of all, it doesn't proc on Hyper Armor. Second of all, it's very easy to avoid. Like, you can see the guy pull out the arrow, shoot it, and it's just full blockable. And sure, there's a tech to like hit behind their block, but realistically, most players have figured out how to counter that, which is just flash tipping or just evasiving, which is really funny. And then God's Direction is probably one of the worst partial moves in the game, and for a legendary, that's really unfortunate because they pretty much shadow nerf the, like, giga nerf the Scrift and the Volt. All the Volt moves together don't do a bar. I'm pretty sure I have a video of it. Like, some guy hit me with like Divine Shot, Presence, the God Hand, all of which is blockable, by the way. You can literally block like any of those moves. Only did a bar of health. I don't even think I had blood on. So yeah, the Scrift is complete buns. The true stun on the God's Direction doesn't lead to anything. You can't use a Still Silver. You can't maybe you can get a Fast Fang in there if you're really lucky. It's also cancelable, and it has Hyper Armor after a little bit, but it's still not frame 1 hyper, so it's kind of useless. So I put Miracle in this tier. Also, the revives are cancelable if you hit any multi-hit on.
Bro, why did this nigga ping me in Wandery? I don't care about being in your server.
I mean, my server kill on sight, bitch.
Right.
I got sick of it and I rolled off. Miracle, you are in mid tier until they either buff you or do a slight rework on you. Jugram actually has gone from really good in meta tier, I think, to no counterplay tier, because they re-added the frame 1 Hyper Armor back on the Scrift. 1. 2. The Fortune's Greed is very OP. It's a multi-use. You can pretty much solo like crowds. It's like one of the best boss rate like moves in the game. That single-handedly solos. Plus, you have a 4-second counter in Volt. The true stun time on it is kind of garbage. Like, the Ragdoll doesn't lead to any keto moves, which is kind of annoying, but it's still really good. Very good. And the heal builds up way too fast in mode. I don't know why it's that fast. And in base, you pretty much heal a bar, get defense and speed boost. There's quite literally no counterplay to this Scrift other than somehow canceling imbalance when you know, you have to like, you have to predict, you have to be psychic, you have to look into their mind, be like, okay, this guy's hit me with this many predestined slices, he's running away, he's probably gonna use the imbalance, right? That's probably the only way to counter it, but good luck doing that, right? You gotta get into their heads. Mind game. Let's see what's next. Compulsory. It went from like meta tier and like really good tier, and now it's like, I'd say it's like the bottom of really good to like mid tier. I feel like they kind of like make the Volt pretty like boring. It's not very canon to the anime at all, and I know, you know, and the moves themselves aren't very decent in Scrift. They gutted all the true times on them, so they don't really lead to much anymore. I haven't seen that many compulsory users as well. People have just completely dropped the Scrift, if I'm being honest, which is kind of sad. And the Volt, while it does seem good at first, there are better options. It does a lot of damage, but it has no AoE. Pretty much zero AoE. And for Volts, you want them for boss raid. That's literally what they're made for. Any full mode you want, you always want good boss raid potential, because the only time you're popping Volts is in like a 1v2. It's like, this is like, it's like Fear Syndrome. This, which, you know, brings me to this shit. This Scrift is I want to put it in shit tier just because, you know, I have no troubles fighting this Scrift at all. But I'm gonna put it like behind Miracle, because the Volt is just completely garbage. It is the definition of a 1v1 Volt. The issue is there's better 1v1 Volts, first of all. Second of all, Thorns needs to go. Thorns, like, you could be the best aimer in game, Rainbow Six championship aiming Counter-Strike global elite master type shit. You'll still miss Thorns because half the time you aim your cursor at an invisible wall and they go in opposite directions. The first time, the first time in OG type I rolled Fear, and this was after the nerfs, by the way, so they removed all the iframes, all the good parts about the Volt, made it complete garbage. Tried a boss raid in London, I got jumped. Thorns did not save me. I was doing better before I popped Volt, because most of the people didn't notice me. As soon as I popped Volt, I got jumped by our own cars. This Volt is complete garbage. The Scrift Thorns, if you're not blocking Thorns in 2024, you're just garbage at the game. Same with Extension. Extension, complete garbage. This Scrift, okay, look. It's got the true stun time to compete. It's got a good projectile. But the animations are too slow. They're easy to read. And the Volt is completely mediocre. Like, sure, the Volt has some true stun time in there, but the moves themselves don't do enough damage. No AoE at all. It's Compulsory Syndrome. No AoE. No nothing. But this is why you can't really base Scrifts just off their, you know, their true stun and combo potential, because who is not blocking any of these moves? And it's impossible to move stack with them because of the end lag. Which brings me to debt dealing. This might be controversial. I'm looking at all these Scrifts overall. Overall, I think DD is one of the most disappointing Scrifts I've ever seen. The Volt is really good. I compliment them on that, even though both the moves are just reskin gift pads. But we don't talk about that. This Scrift is complete baloney. People try to overplay this Scrift so much. The spec level floor. Oh my god, Gift Ball. Gift Ball is the worst projectile in game, apart from Focal Point, probably. Actually, no, with Focal Point you can actually like move stack something into it. With Gift Ball, it's impossible to move stack anything into it. First of all, second of all, it does 10 damage. Third of all, lethal dosage is cosmetic. Getting hit by lethal dosage takes less than half a bar. It's literally cosmetic. I could bathe in Gift Bad and I don't care. I will fight a dead dealing in there. It's not like your moves are disabled. You can still parry. You can still fight. Any mobility. I made a list of moves that gets you out of Gift Bad. I don't know how, like, any mobility. All right, so let me name them. Barak, if you're out. Shori. Let's see. Booming Cut. Delayed Crossing, Dropping Fang, Fast Fang in Visored or Let's. Criticals like Spot In, Long Sword or Dagger. Or that one crit from a run card with the big sword. What else? Katana crit also gets you out. Oh, and fun fact, if you do get stuck in Gift Bad floor, don't panic. Literally, just press the W, like just press the keep pressing the same movement button that you were doing, and it won't apply the slow at all. It only applies the slow if you try to dash or you try to, you know, start running, pressing shift. Literally, you can just walk out of it. There was a gif of it. They posted in the lore thing. I think they removed it for some reason. The Tama guy, I don't know why. He probably got shit on by dead dealing. But yeah, literally, the shift is complete buns. You can just run away from it, zone it, and you can't do anything. Literally, you can literally use the gift bad. They'll be mid flashed up, not affected, just run out of it, and there goes one of your best moves. Like, it's really overplayed. The Volt is what makes it really good. Because the Volt looks aesthetically pleasing. The crit's really OP. And the Volt overall is pretty much unbeatable. Just because like the slows are like pretty much unavoidable. But I do think, like, say like a thing like Water Bankai or something like that with an iframe to get out of it does counter it a little. So I'll put it in really good tier. I don't think it's meta tier. Just because the moves are really easy to counter. Just because of that. Okay, that's my rant. Superstar, this show has the biggest fall off ever. As soon as they made the kick what do you call blockable, it just became an easy read. Most people have rolled off of it. I haven't seen that many superstar users. I would say it's like really good. I wouldn't say it's meta because okay, sure, the true sometimes aren't great on it. You can't really flow into any moves after it. Like, you know, you can kick and then you can try Sonata Flow, but they can parry it, or you can try Star Flash, but they get knocked back too far for your, you know, combo into anything except maybe like Fast Fang, but that's about it. So the combo potential isn't really there compared to like other partials like Wind, you know, Wind, what else, Ice, I think, unless they nerf the true sometimes, but Ice you pretty much can really easily combo into stuff. Blood too, Hemorrhage is like really good pressure just to having it on you. And yeah, like, so I think Superstar kind of have fell off. People have figured out how to counter it. Just hold F, really. Like, you know, they get into a stance, buddy. You can really see it. Let's see here. What else? Explode isn't out yet. Power is actually, I think I'll put it in like really good tier, right under Superstar. I think this shift is underrated because the punch is a 8-second cooldown, frame 1 hyper, and gets you out of combos. It is very good, very versatile, and it's almost instant too, so it's pretty hard to do. And then for the little kick that it does, it puts you up into the air and like leaves you stunned up there for a little time. So the true stun is also pretty good on it. I tested it with Q Keto back when it released, and then like it flowed well enough. I think it would work the best on like a Hakuda or a Kendo build, like something to get you in their faces. It's not very good on Keto, but I think with the right, you know, skill set, it can be pretty viable. But the Volt is like, okay, the Volt doesn't really have that good boss raid potential. It's like one AoE move, which is like, I think when you throw the little dumbbell into the ground, I think. It had the dash barrage where you dash into him and then barrage him in mode. Does seem kind of lazy, but the move does a bar and a half, so I'm not complaining. So I would say it's like a mix of like a 1v1 Volt and like a boss raid full. It's like fully either. I think it'd be the best in a 1v1 situation, and in like a 1v3 it kind of falls off from there. So I think it's like a really good tier, but nothing more. Let's see, he kind of fell off. They nerfed the Scorch Shot and Burn Blade CD, so you know they actually have cooldowns now. I'm fairly certain they also nerfed the overtime damage and the Volt. So for those reasons, like, it's still pretty good, don't get me wrong, but I think he went from like no counterplay tier to like the top of really good tier, to be honest. Honestly. And then let's see here, Thunderbolt, I don't need an explanation for this. This Volt just like put like under Miracle. I think Thunderbolt is better than Fear, just because the no flash step is just way better than anything the Scrift has for Fear, and the Thunderbolt Volt is way better than Fear's tenfold. Only reason why I think Thunderbolt, actually no, I should put it above Miracle. Because, geez, like, that Scrift is just completely irredeemable for Miracle. At least with Thunderbolt, it has that passive, and you can free aim the arrow. With Miracle, nothing. Complete garbage. Also, if you guys want to, what do you call it? I mean, this is like midway. I'm almost done. But if you guys want to subscribe or tell me if my opinions are bad, just let me know. Or maybe if I yap too much. Who cares? Let's see here. Wind had a rework. The Volt is like pretty much no counterplay tier in ones, and in a team fight it's very good now because they buffed it, surprisingly. back when they buffed He as well. So I think the Volt's really good, and the base is really good, especially with Hakuda, specifically with like Hakuda, because you get a little AoE slash. The True Stun is amazing on the moves, but they're very close ranged moves. They're very close ranged, but they're very good. So I think like it doesn't have the range, right? So I can't put it above like Superstar, because Superstar has the star kick range. But I think it's like right over here under Power, just because I think the Wind Volt is personally better than Powers, and I think the True Stun time is better on the Wind. Just way better. Like you can't beat True Stun. It's like 2 combo extenders basically in Scrift, I think, because like one is like the slashes that you should do to him, which is like basically cleave, and then you like jump up, and then the other move is like you go up, stretch your arms, do another True Stun move into a split. So it's pretty good. Iron, okay, I think I like the height of its power. It's like above Fear, under Miracle, just because that Volt is complete garbage. The Shrift is really good, but it has no range at all. But I'm pretty sure the True Stun time on the Ragdoll is way better than Miracle's, but the Volt is just completely worse. Like the Shrift is very solid, but it's a Hakuda Shrift, so I can't like it wasn't made for any other skill tree. That's the issue. On Hakuda, this is probably really good tier, but if you're talking about overall, it's like a mid tier at best. And then okay, so for the final one, it would be Glutton. This will be the only meta tier. I'll put this on better tier. The lifesteal is still amazing. That Volt pretty much never runs out if you get enough grips, and it has an auto grip in Volt. I'm pretty much regurgitating what I said last time. Plus, it hasn't been nerfed publicly yet, so yeah. This is my tier list. Like and subscribe if you liked it. If not, dislike and say you deserve the ban, Smokey. And yeah, see ya.